what's cooking with the NBA playoffs. We'll talk about the latest action and results. Plus, will Nikola Vucevic be back on that trading market for the Bulls this offseason? If so, which suitors might be interested? And then if we got time, we'll round things out with a look at the recent players poll put up by The Athletic earlier this week. Next! Goat is out of pocket. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls podcast. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That's Big Dave back in the saddle. Bam! Bam! BNWL Sports. Will the Goat Gottlieb, perfectly coiffed. Beard growing. Will_Gottlieb. And the Queen of Controls, the one and only Katie W. What up, Katie?
Because the other show that we just recorded is not coming out until
tomorrow.
The
other show that we just recorded.
Hey! Good one. Yeah. Dish you gotta take it, Goat. Shout out to everybody hanging out with us on YouTube. I like that the very first comment among our live YouTube commenters is Jeremiah just saying, "Sell the team, Jerry."
Is that your alias, Matt?
It's not.
Oh, okay.
My hands are off the keyboard.
All right.
But I agree. Big Dave, welcome back.
Hey, thank you.
Welcome back. We talked a little bit about your Vegas trip on the mailbag show that we just recorded.
Yeah,
a little ways ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, did you just miss talking Bulls every day so badly?
I honestly did miss talking Bulls. For real. Like, I'm a sicko. So yeah, I wanted to talk Bulls. Not the first 2 days, but then the last, I was like, okay, I want to talk Bulls. I want to have.
You were there for how long?
Bulls. I was there from Friday till yesterday.
Wow, that's a long trip.
Yeah,
a lot of Vegas time.
A lot of Vegas.
It was around the same length of our summer league trips.
Yeah,
which is too much Vegas.
Yeah, it was about that same kind of length, man. But we were on a mission of WrestleMania, so the focus was there. And yeah, Greg and I, we did a lot of awesome stuff. Took a lot of great vids, and did a couple of great shows out there as well. Met some really, really cool, great people out there. And yeah, it was great. Oh, and one more thing. I promised that I would do this. Shout out to my friend Felicia, who told me that today that she watches the show. And I didn't know she watched the show. But she told me today that she watches the show. She likes it. She wanted to say hi to all y'all. I told her I would give her a shout out today. So, hello, what's happening, homie? Good to see you. I appreciate you. And yeah, that's it.
I like Hi Felicia is even better than Bye Felicia.
It is. Well,
it depends.
Friendlier. I'm about to say the stank is with the Bye Felicia.
Yeah, comes
with it. It's better, but yeah, man, that's the homie though.
A couple of in-house announcements and things to plug before we dive into our first topic of the day. The CHGO Bears draft party, night 1 tomorrow, night 2. The night after that, they've sold a bunch of tickets. I think they're close to 150 who are RSVP'd and got their tickets punched for tomorrow night at 115 Bourbon Street down on the south side tomorrow night. Going to be a lot of fun. Hope to see y'all there for the first night of the NFL draft. And then they're going to follow it up with another party on Friday. CHGO Bears crew is going to be there. We also got some of the faction in Green Bay for the draft. And shout out to Katie and our entire hardworking production crew who are going to be all hands on deck for that event. CHGO Bears draft party. I mean, Dave, you and I have been. Have you been?
I think with the first year.
First year? Yeah. We've gone the last few years. I don't know if I'm going to make it this year, but man, it is a fun time.
It is an incredible fun time. It's always just a lot of passionate fans out there. If you come, Will, there'll definitely be people wanting to talk Bulls for sure.
That's true.
it would definitely happen. Matt and I found some incredible fans of the show when we were there.
In past years, there have been people like, yo, so what do you, and I'm like, yo, man, can we be excited Bears fans tonight?
No, we're not. I like the guy that we met last time. He was like, I'm always putting y'all in the family chat all the time, in the family text thread. I'm always talking about you guys in the family text
Apologies
thread.
to your family.
So yes, you know what I mean? Well, hey, they need entertainment too.
That's true.
But it's always great. Honestly, I love meeting those kind of fans that just really have that kind of passion for what we do. And there'll be no more passionate fans than the one that'll be there for the Chicago Bears and that draft. There'll be a lot of opinions. There'll be a lot of beer. There'll just be a lot of fun, and it'll be really cool. Honestly, it'll be a lot of work for sure. Steven's over here packing up now, getting a lot of work done together. But it'll be all hands on deck. And yeah, man, it'll be a good time if you guys can come on through, come hang out. Honestly, it will be a really, really, really great time. You won't regret it.
And speaking of our fun CHGO events, that's one of the many things diehards get discounts on, in addition to all of our cool merch and that All-City merch locker. So we have a diehard promo going on right now. There's that QR code that Katie just put up on the screen. Click it now. Sign up. It is one of our, if not the lowest sale price offers we've ever done as far as becoming a CHGO diehard. $36 for your first year. That quick math boils down to just $3 a month. $3.
Quick math.
Not $3 a day, $3 a month, y'all, for all the great bonus coverage and content that we only offer to our diehards, including all of the NFL draft coverage stuff that they're going to be doing to supplement their live shows on draft night. You know, their mock drafts, all the stuff they've been working on. And then a couple months from now, when it is the NBA's turn to get hyped about the draft, Goat and his crew of All-City NBA people working hard already on that draft content will be for diehards. So, what are you waiting for? Sign up, become a CHGO diehard today. With that, gentlemen, let's talk about what's brewing.
I'm so ready for the draft.
So ready.
It's your time, baby.
The draft is in pre-brew stage. It's not quite brewing yet.
Yeah.
Because the NBA playoffs are brewing.
Yeah.
What's brewing? Brought to you by our friends at Sam Adams American Light. Dave,
Segue.
the fridge inventory is at 0. Has been for a couple days. I am getting crankier and crankier about it. And I haven't just taken it upon myself, which I have done sometimes, to walk down the street to the Westwood Market where they do sell them.
I've seen you
grab myself a Sixer. But also, we are doing shows a little earlier in the day. So I got here today at like 1:30. It was like, there are no Sam Adams in the fridge. And I'm not going to judge myself, but maybe it's a little too early for a beer.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, at the same time,
I've seen you do this.
I had a conversation with myself silently, and I was like, what do you mean it's too early for a beer? What are you talking about? Who are you talking
to? Like, no, man. It's whenever you feel it's always Sam season. So
delicious.
It's always time for Sam Adams if you want it responsibly. It's always time for you if you want it and are over 21.
That's
so
right.
You can go ahead and get on down. I think you should go ahead and indulge.
I should. And I might stop and get some on my way home from the office today.
It's a good idea.
Stock my fridge.
Yeah.
With the Sam
Stock
Adams
it up.
American Lights.
I got to remind Jake again. Hey, bro.
Hey, come on now.
Let's
keep that stocked.
Hey.
All right, so what's brewing in the NBA playoffs? Last night we had 3 Game 2s worth of action after just 2 Game 2s on Monday. The Pacers beat the Bucks once again to take a 2-0 series lead. Thunder beating the Grizzlies comfortable, also taking a 2-0 lead. And we got ourselves another hilarious 90s/early 2000s final score. Lakers get even with the Timberwolves. 94-85 was the final in that one.
Oh, no, Go loved it.
Oh, I'm sure. So, gentlemen, of last night's action, what stood out the most? You would obviously assume the Lakers getting a split after dropping Game 1.
Yeah.
Dave, Goat, and I were joking while you were out of town. It's the patented LeBron move. You lose Game 1 on purpose, and then you go on to win the series from there.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Do you
move.
Still believe in the Lakers after they even the series?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't see why you shouldn't. No, it was classic LeBron. Like after they won, like they did, it's always LeBron goes into I'm going into the focus mode, and he always has that look on his face, and he'll show up 3 hours early, for shoot around, and gets all that great footage of him being tough and getting ready, and then he comes out, but to his credit, which is why he's one of the greatest ever, he comes out and he proves it every single time. So no matter what you think about the antics, he backs it up every single time. And that's what makes him one of the greatest ever. So I thought defensively, they just set the tone from the beginning. And that's really what it was. And getting Naz Reid in foul trouble very early was huge. Getting 4 fouls on him in the first half, that you can call that the game if you want. I believe he and McDaniels had a combined 48 points in game 1, and I believe it was under 10 in game 2.
They had 17 combined. Each of them scored less than 10.
There it is right there. So, yeah, man, it was a real struggle for those guys. Obviously getting in that foul trouble and just the shooting the ball, it was a real struggle. I saw Ant had a little pain, you know what I'm saying, right here somewhere in the shoulder as well. When I saw that stuff early, you just kind of knew the writing on the wall. I think the Lakers should be a little concerned because it wasn't truly dominating. You know what I mean? Like they truly just took it from them, but they did enough to get the victory and to go ahead and tie that series up and, take a little of the momentum back, Will.
Yeah, I thought they just looked a little bit more like themselves. They were a little bit more locked in defensively. They were giving, I thought, Mike Conley a really hard time. Like they were targeting him a bunch.
That's true.
And that's like what they need to do. Like this Wolves team has a ton of length and athleticism with Ant, with Jaden McDaniels, with Naz Reid, DiVincenzo, a bunch of guys that are like really athletic, can move, and they just like, I don't know. I feel like they didn't push the right buttons in that first game. Luka was insane in the first quarter. I want to see him like consistently play that well for like a full game. I feel like he has these like insane first quarters or first halves, and then he kind of, pulls back a little bit. But obviously, plenty to get the job done last night. The other thing I worry about with the Lakers is their depth. Like they really only played 6 guys. Vincent played 19 minutes off the bench. DFS played 39, but Jackson Hayes only 9 minutes. He got into a ton of foul trouble too. And I don't know if they're going to be able to handle. I mean, the Wolves are playing basically 2 centers at all times with the combination of Gobert, Randall, and Naz Reid. Not as extreme as last year with Cat, but same concept. And yeah, if you're not able to get real minutes over a course of a series from the one guy who's really playing center, I think that can be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah. Do you think Rudy Gobert needs to pick it up a little bit more? Are you surprised that there isn't some form of domination, whether it's on the offensive end or defensive end, knowing the Lakers are, very thin at that position?
Well, I think what makes the Lakers so challenging to defend is the guys. I mean, everybody's huge, right? Like Luka, 6'8", Reeves is your smallest starter at 6'5", 6'6", and you've got LeBron. And so when they're able to pull Gobert into action and take him away from the rim, now there's nobody back there. And I think he's not the same. I mean, he's still an elite defender, but he's not the same caliber of defender that he used to be, where he can shut down some of those drives, especially when it's a 6'8" guy in LeBron or Luka, as opposed to, a smaller guard that's having to try to score over the top. And so Luka, I thought, did a really good job of just manipulating those matchups, pulling whether it was McDaniels on the switch, just getting Gobert out of the paint and then attacking from there. And I think that's really what they need to do.
Yeah, it's crazy when you talk about hunting Mike Conley as like a team's defensive playoff weakness, because you're like, wait, this is the same Mike Conley who's always been coveted around the league because of his two-way play.
Yeah.
Like, dude who has an all-defensive team award in his trophy case at home.
He does.
And then you're like, oh, yeah, he won all-defensive team 2012, 2013, over a decade ago.
It's been a while.
And then you get sad realizing how old you are. He is 37. He's 37. Mike Conley is not the same defensive ace he once was a dozen years ago.
Sure.
I think you're right, Dave. Like the role players came up huge for Minnesota in game 1. That's a big factor for the win. The Lakers respond in game 2 as you would expect them to. I still think this series is a toss-up.
Yeah.
After that game 1 result, I came into it thinking, Lakers in 6, maybe 5. And now 6, I am not as sure about that.
Yeah. That's the best thing that Minnesota can do, is to, rattle your mind a little bit as to, who's going to win this series. So they're doing their job.
Rattle your brain and your mind.
Yes.
Too.
Real
quick before our first break, of the 2 teams that went up 2-0 last night, either of the teams they went up 2-0 against, Bucks or Grizzlies, you given any of either of those 2 teams a shot to get back in the series?
Probably the Bucks. I would give a shot to win. Honestly, maybe they could win a game at home for sure. I think it's over for Cleveland. I think that's a done deal. But yeah, I would take the Bucks.
Yeah, I think Memphis is cooked. I think they're gonna get swept, and I think maybe the Bucks will get 1 game. But I think they're just
Memphis done.
Both of them are done.
Yeah,
cooked. We don't need best of 7 in the first round, Adam Silver. Let's take our first break. When we come back, we'll dive into the latest talk going around the league on Vooch. Is he still on the trade market this summer? We'll talk about it next. Hit the like.
Hit it.
Hit it. Smack him, Katie. Today's show brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Win or lose that $5 bet, you're going to see $150 in your account either way. Sign up. Be sure to use promo code CHGO365 when you sign up. Put $10, put $20 in your account. Make a $5 bet on one of these NBA playoff games we got slated tonight. And whether that $5 bet hits or not does not matter, because when that bet concludes, win or loss, you will see $150 in bonus bets hit your account right that instant. I love it. I took that $150 in bonus bets and made myself a killing on March Madness.
Shout out.
Also, speaking of betting on hoops, with Bet365 early payout offer, you're a winner if your team goes up by 20 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. So, download that app now. What are you waiting for? And again, don't forget that promo code CHGO365 when you sign up to take advantage of that great offer. $5 bet, $150 in bonus bets. And you can use those bonus bets on anything: spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 and older if you or someone you know has a gambling problem. Crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in app only.
Katie, I'm going to ask you a question. I need you to hold it for a little bit. Katie, what time is it?
Game time hoot. I'm literally eating ravioli. Why would you do that?
She just asked the question.
That's a solid retort.
No, the retort is, of course I would ask you that question while you're eating rabbit. Like, how long we known each other? Come
You
here.
literally watched me take a bite.
Come on.
When you ask someone, why did you or did you not do this thing in this manner, and their answer is, I'm eating ravioli,
Yeah.
I got nothing but respect for that. That is a good answer.
Eat ravioli.
Eat that ravioli.
Eat that ravioli.
Ravioli is delicious.
You enjoy that ravioli.
Yeah. So long as it's meat ravioli.
No veggie? She said no.
It's spinach.
Let's go!
Anyway,
Stick it
game
up for you,
time.
Katie.
Stick it up for
You're
vegetables.
Stick it up for you.
Oh,
Game time hoot.
Summer Matt loves veggies. Yeah. Game time has a new feature called the carrot. Game time picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live easier than ever. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, whatever you want to see. Save some money on it. Of course, they got that all-in pricing. Of course, they got that lowest price guarantee. Of course, they got that Game Time ticket coverage, which comes with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. But they got the Matt, Peck, and Big Dave favorite. They got the seat views. Boom. You better believe I was looking at that when I was trying to find out where we sitting for Mania. And I was looking at them seat views like, me and Greg, both of them big. We need to have this space. Boom. Nope. I want to sit a little closer to where we can get out, get up, get something to drink, come back down. Yep. And enjoy ourselves. Perfect seats. Shout out Game Time. You done it again. And you done good. You got burnt. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Green, I gotta use that. Go see CHGO. Get yourself $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. I said CHGO. Get yourself $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time today because Matt Peck. Whatever it,
It was really funny while you were gone. Go did the Game Time read ones, and he did your little jingle thing.
Oh,
but then he got halfway
just
through
came
it,
out.
and it was just like, I'm only going to do it once.
that is so Will the Go Gottlieb.
Oh,
It was great.
it was great. I enjoyed it. It was a good laugh.
Felt good though, right?
Felt good.
Yeah.
People loved it.
As we
Everybody
dive
loved it.
into our next topic, we have
It was
some
hilarious.
big-
Everybody was saying.
We have some big and little news to share. All City, including those of us here at CHGO, are teaming up with Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America for an exciting 3-year partnership. Y'all, this isn't just about sports, it's about community. Together, we're combining Big Brothers, Big Sisters' incredible youth mentoring programs with the passion and power of All City's local sports coverage to create something truly meaningful. The partnership kicks off this week during our NFL draft coverage, but it doesn't stop there. We'll be working year-round to support Big Brothers, Big Sisters through fundraising, content, events, and even opportunities for our team, and maybe some of y'all, to get directly involved. We're excited to support youth mentorship that really makes a difference. You can learn more and see how to get involved at bbbs.org/youth. BBBS.org/ALLCITY. That's BBBS.org/ALLCITY. All right, y'all. Next on the docket, we got to talk Vooch. We did hear from him. He was one of the players selected to do an exit interview after their play-in tournament loss and their season officially came to an end. And he was asked, about his season, what he was proud of, talked about bouncing back with his shooting numbers this season. Another season where availability was a great ability for Vooch and the team. A little lull after the trade deadline, but finished strong. Mm-hmm. And he was also asked, do you trust this team's vision right now? / do you want to be a part of it still as, one of the older vets on the team,
right,
going a new direction in the departures of DeMar and Caruso and then Zach. Mm-hmm. And Vooch basically said, I believe that they're trying to build something here. And if what they're trying to build is winning, then yeah, I want to be a part of it. But Vooch said it all depends on what their timeline is and how they see this team, because he was talking about at this stage of his career being somebody who wants to contend deep into the season, make deep playoff runs, compete for a championship. And a veteran like Vooch has every right to feel that way.
Vooch has never been out the first round.
That's crazy.
So when you get to this kind of point in your career, especially, from Orlando, on down. I don't know how it was in Philly, but has he's been the man and been Vooch. It's been Orlando one round. It's been the Chicago Bulls kind of one round. So when you get to certain points in your career, you've made your money. You know what I'm saying? You've gotten your accolades. But what you're trying to build is your legacy. So the only way you're able to build stuff like that is by winning. And so if you're going to be a team that is prioritizing winning and not being competitive, because there is a difference, ladies and gentlemen. But when you're prioritizing winning, yes, I feel them I want to be a part of that. I want to be around for that. It's what I got traded here for. It's what we were doing in the first kind of iteration of this team when we just had Lonzo and DeMar and we had Zach and those guys. It was winning. So, yes, as he gets older, but he's continuing to show you he's still a viable piece. He still can impact winning and impact the team, but he doesn't have a lot of time left, especially being a big guy. Those years really start to run long, especially on your knees and things like that. This is coming from guys like Will Perdue who have said this. So I understand where he's at. I don't think the Bulls are in a position that they're trying to win. Why? Because they continue to say they're being competitive, which for me is a whole different thing. So I think it's time for him to make that move. I just wonder if the front office believes that it's time for them to make that move.
I think coming to terms with, okay, it's time to move on, and there being somebody who's willing to make a deal, those are two different things. And I think they probably felt okay about moving him at the deadline if the right offer was there. And when it wasn't, I think you can call into question, were you actually ready to move on? I don't know what the answer to that is in terms of the future outlook. I do know that they are continuing to try to get younger and turn over the roster. Vooch is 34. As we talked about before, I think he deserves a chance to play on a real team that's trying to win real games. I don't think he would want to be in a situation where he's kind of spinning his wheels in the play-in every single year. So would it surprise me if he gets traded? No, but I think it just is going to require another team to have interest. And I don't think that was the case at the trade deadline. I think basically when the Warriors were able to get Jimmy Butler, they said, okay, that's it. And we don't want to make another move.
Right.
And that was the only real suitor. So I think that kind of answers that question. But obviously things can change. In the offseason, it's a little bit easier to take in that kind of money. More teams are going to be probably more willing to trade their pick because they know where it is. There's not the lottery potential. So maybe a late first, early second is on the table and the Bulls can make a move like that. But also he fit really well into the way that the Bulls wanted to play. I think he really helped Kobe and Giddey play better over the course of this year. And so I would also not at all be surprised if the Bulls front office decided we want this guy around. We think he's going to be able to continue to help our young guys improve and get better. And if we can figure out something at the deadline, so be it. But they just really value him. And I think you're going to have to find something of real value, of probably excess value to what he's actually worth in order for them to pull the trigger.
I think it also matters the teams in the playoffs and not just, when they lose, but how they lose. If you see a team get dominated because of not having a center, or you just watch a team continually have some interior presence that they cannot stop, or they don't have a post player on their squad, and that's the way they got put out in 5 or 6 games, then that kind of raises the eyebrows, of other teams that might be looking at a guy like Vooch.
Maybe not particularly when it comes to interior rim protection levels of defense.
No, but Vooch, having a 7-foot. I'm just saying if you don't have one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good to have a guy like Vooch who can still deter you a little bit.
Let me ask you guys this.
Not too much, but yeah.
What do you think about the idea of, not saying I think they should do this, but a similar extension to the one that Lonzo signed, where it's like a smaller team-friendly deal with the team option, less money, more easily movable, because teams aren't really expiring contracts. I do not think are really that valuable anymore. I think teams because players are just extending off their contracts. They're not reaching free agency. So teams aren't player movement is happening more by trade than by free agency now than ever. Arturas has even said that. I know he knows that, which is why the whole 2026 plan is, we'll see how that goes in terms of free agency. But value contracts is the way to get real assets. I think that was the idea with the Lonzo extension. And so Vooch is going to be extension eligible. Could they get him on a 1+1 with a team option for $10 million a year? And now all of a sudden a team like the Warriors is much more inclined to try to bring him in because they can take him into their trade exception, their mid-level trade exception. And they don't have to worry about finding the cap space to go get him. Maybe that's a more palatable contract to move, which is I think what the idea was with the Lonzo contract.
I see the same logic with a Vooch team-friendly deal the way they did Lonzo. I get it. I hate it. Vooch is one of several missed opportunities from this front office to trade somebody when you could, get value from somebody when you could. I'm sick of doubling down. I am sick of it. Cowley in his latest, he had a column that was what are the Bulls doing with their big three, using the phrase big three a little tongue-in-cheek, and said the Bulls will once again look to move Vooch, making room for Zach Collins as a temporary starter, perhaps drafting a young rim protector, pointing out Vooch's expiring deal. Cowley also pointing out in all likelihood he could be moved more easily at the February trade deadline than opposed to this offseason. And that's we talked to Cowley on trade deadline day after AK talked, and Dave, you and I were here, and you were beating the set with a bat about they laid some groundwork with some of their phone calls leading up to this season's trade deadline.
Yeah.
We didn't make any trades at the deadline, but we feel good about this summer, this offseason, and then maybe that's when we'll make some moves. And now, a couple months later, Cowley's writing maybe next season's in-season trade deadline is what it's more like. It's first of all, if I'm Vooch, listen to what he said at his exit interview. I want to win.
Yeah.
And he was polite in the way that he phrased it, but Vooch's inner monologue, his subtext was, y'all winning anytime soon? Anyone?
Anybody?
Bueller?
Anybody?
Yeah?
Yeah.
AK?
Yeah.
Well, you're delusional. It's fine if you think you're going to win sometime soon. But no! Mista, get me out of here!
Yeah, I mean, he was ready to go before.
Yes!
You know what I mean? I don't think that's really changed.
He was pouty for 2 weeks after the deadline. Why? Yeah. Because he was still here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on now.
He was ready to be up out of here. So, and again, I think that definitely they should do him that service and allow him to go and explore and go win, and not hold him even till February. I think they should go ahead and do him the service and make a trade to get him out of here now, just out of respect for him. And because he's been truly a professional for the Chicago Bulls, and how he's played. The most unprofessional thing that I've seen him do was be upset that he didn't get traded.
Yeah.
And that's not really unprofessional. That's common as hell. Dude, I didn't get traded. So, yeah, man, I think they should look out for him. He has been nothing but awesome for them. He has definitely played his ass off. He's been put in positions where he hasn't been comfortable. He's been asked to do stuff that he wasn't the guy to ask to do. You talked about the defense, man. Remember when they were funneling all the defense straight at Vooch? How'd that work out? Not well, because he's not really great at that. They were asking him to be the number 3 guy. He's not normally, comfortable with that kind of stuff, but he still did it. He's still giving you double-doubles, and he still shows you this season, I still have a lot left in the tank. So I will reward him for that, allow him to go out and continue his journey, man, because he wants to win and not be competitive.
And that's probably the real reason why an extension wouldn't happen, because he probably just doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
Long
Especially
term.
if it's
I don't think he's I'm not saying he's like
a lower figure.
Yeah, he likes it here a lot. He really
he
really did genuinely enjoy the turnaround that this team made in the second half. He liked playing. He's a very good teammate. His teammates like him. He enjoys playing with his teammates. So I'm not trying to say that like he's like banging on the door to get out of here, but he's got winning to worry about now.
He's got winning.
And at this stage of his career, if it's not about the max earning potential and it's lesser earning potential wherever you choose where you can think you can win. All right, we got to knock out a couple other ads. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation by looking at a couple specific teams that might still be in the Vooch market. I know, Goat, you just said who's looking. We'll talk about who might be looking on the other side of the break. Hit the like.
Who saw that Cubs win?
Yeah.
Who saw that come from behind win?
Pretty crazy.
It was awesome, right?
Suck it, Dodgers.
Yeah. Pretty like, they showed up. Well, girl, we're going to take over Wrigley. No, you're going to take this L right on back.
Hey.
All right, because you can't spell L-A without that L. And you took one. Oh, you like that. Shout out Kyle Tucker. Extend him. That's what Cody told me. The Chicago Cubs are headed to Milwaukee, ladies and gentlemen. Boo. And you could be too. Kick off your summer right with the CHGO Cubs crew. That's Cody, that's Luke, and that's main man Corey, also a big wrestling fan, are taking the party north of the border with that border battle with the Milwaukee Brewers. We don't like them. It's all going down Saturday, May 3rd at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel in Milwaukee. That's about an hour away. And you can go there and hang out with the crew and have an amazing time. Well, Dave, that sounds great. What comes with that? Oh, my God, I'm so glad you asked me that. Exclusive pregame party in the private room at the casino. Yes, you heard what I said. A live CHGO Cubs show. You can hang out with the crew, talk some baseball, vibe on out, see if Cody's got the beer back with him, see if the reality spray, that Stuck brought with him. We'll see, all that stuff. The buffet lunch you get, and you get yourself a drink ticket to get the good times rolling. Oh, yes. And here's a bonus. If you're 21 and over, 21, you'll get $100 in casino play with a Potawatomi Rewards card. Oh, that's awesome. You can grab a game ticket also and sit with the crew in the lower outfield on the Cubs side, of course, because there is no other side. I just don't know. Is there another side?
No, not that I know.
Make it a weekend, ladies and gents. Just go and make it a weekend. And one-night hotel stay at Potawatomi for Saturday night. Make a whole weekend of making the Milwaukee Brewers' lives miserable and yours even more awesome by hanging out with the CHGO Cubs crew. Tickets and all the info are at allchgo.com/event. That's allchgo.com/event. These are going to go fast, y'all. This is a fact. So do not sleep. Get to it, get to work, and head on up to Wrigley North with the CHGO Cubs crew.
Today's show also brought to you by Cornbread Hemp. If you've been looking for a natural way to relieve aches and discomfort, the CBD gummies from Cornbread Hemp are formulated to work with your body, not against it. I am not as young as I once was. In fact,
he tells us.
I was just making fun of Mike Conley for how old he is a little bit ago. True story. I am 6 months older than Mike Conley.
And he's depressed again.
Hey, what? Doesn't mean I don't care about maintaining my physical and mental well-being. Cornbread Hemp CBD gummies have become a part of my wellness plan, and I dig them. Have you tried everything under the sun for peace of mind? It sounds like it's time for you to try Cornbread Hemp's CBD gummies. Cornbread Hemp CBD gummies are made to help you feel better, whether it's stress, discomfort, or just needing a little relaxation every once in a while. Mm-hmm. My favorite part of Cornbread is that they only use the best part of that hemp plant,
which is
flower. The beautiful flower.
Yes.
Some other CBD manufacturers, some of Cornbread Hemp's wannabes and competitors, will use the entirety of that hemp plant. And I'm not just talking, pick out the seeds and stems. I'm talking big stems. I'm talking stalks, the middle stem that goes into the soil. That stem. You can't make good CBD products out of that. Some people try and tell you that they are not cornbread. They
Lies.
only use the flour. The only part you should use when making hemp products. All of their products are third-party lab tested and USDA organic to ensure safety and purity. So why not give them a try? Right now, they're offering CHGO listeners 30% off your first order. Just visit cornbreadhemp.com/CHGO. Use promo code CHGO at checkout. That's cornbreadhemp.com/CHGO. Promo code CHGO to get 30% off your first order. Cornbread Hemp, this is the good life. Rolling along, CHGO Bulls on a Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hit that like button if you're hanging out in the chat. Hopeful Gamer in the chat said, Vooch needs to pull the Jimmy Butler and throw his toys out of the pram. Force AK to get off his hands and move him. Shout out to the use of the word pram.
Yeah, seriously.
You never see that anymore.
It's not something.
That is, as we were just kind of
Katie is confused.
Not.
I don't think I've ever heard that word.
It's like a little playpen for like toddler age kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think that is Vooch's MO. That's not who Vooch is.
It's not.
It's who Jimmy Drama is.
Jimmy.
Diva Jimmy.
Victory.
Yay. Oh, you know he's friends with Johnny Drama.
Oh, you know he is, bro. You know they hang out without a doubt.
Yeah. Johnny Drama, Big Face Coffee's biggest customer.
I know Jimmy Butler.
But so like, despite Vooch saying, "Hey, I enjoyed the way we played down the stretch. You know, the young guys were running. It's fun." And despite what he said at his exit interview, if they want to win, then sure, I want to be here. I think there's still part of him that would be open to a move. So the question becomes, are there other teams out there open to acquiring Vooch? Because, you were talking about how much they value Vooch and the reason that the amount they value him did not equal any hypothetical offers that they heard on the other end of the phone leading up to the trade deadline. We heard that there was maybe a couple of different teams interested. We heard Lakers, we heard Warriors, and there was a particular Warriors offer that was floated around as one deemed to be not good enough by AK and his asking price because it did not involve a first-round pick.
I'll stay.
It involved a couple of second-round picks and a young player or two, and AK said, not good enough. And thus,
do we
stayed.
actually know what the offer was?
I heard it was 2 seconds, Moody, maybe GP2.
I don't think that's what it was. I think that's way more than what it was. I think it was probably like 1 second, Kevon Looney and Gary Payton.
Maybe Looney and GP. I heard at least from one source that it was 2 seconds.
I definitely heard 2 seconds as well.
Which is what made me cranky when Vooch, when AK
yes.
put his foot down on insisting on a first-round pick.
Completely.
It was like, dude, if you're not getting a first-round pick from anyone that you're talking to.
Picks. They gave one up in the Zach LaVine trade. That is
I don't know if they care about first
underrated element of this front office is that they don't value second.
They
round
also
picks.
turned one down that they got an offer for Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
So, like, but the question was, like, hey, we understand why the Warriors might be interested. They need some more shooting. They need a big. They're out there throwing this second-round rookie Quentin Post to the Wolves.
Quentin Post!
And do y'all remember? There was a Bulls-Warriors matchup.
I remember.
Really close before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And in that game, Quentin Post went out and knocked down like 5 threes. So we were all like, why?
There was a week this season where we were stat watching. Like, literally, like, box score watching Quentin Post.
Yeah.
That is poverty as a fan base.
And hoping for bad results so that the Warriors would throw an offer at AK for Vooch.
From Quentin Post. And he still didn't put up bad stat lines.
Out there balling.
He was balling, dog.
So, but, and obviously this could depend, as what you were just saying, Dave, a minute ago, on like playoff results on some of these teams.
Yeah.
Warriors, playoff team. Lakers, playoff team. Spurs petered out because Wemby had a season-ending injury, but probably aiming to hopefully be a playoff team next year, in the hunt next year. What are they lacking? With Vooch, it's like, do you need a big who can space the floor? Like, first and foremost.
Yeah.
And a guy who crafty and,
very crafty.
and wily vet as he is, has some reliable moves on the block.
Yeah.
He's got great footwork on the offensive end. He likes his little dipsy doodle moves around in the basket, and he's very efficient that way as well. Defensively, we know what he is and we know what he is not.
Yeah.
But let's just start with the Warriors. Like, Keith Smith was talking about this on the Front Office podcast that he does that I was listening to earlier today. They're like, makes sense. The Warriors could still be interested in Vooch as a veteran piece on a veteran team.
I think so. I mean, you look at their box score from last game. Post only played 12 minutes. They're starting Draymond at the 5. Looney only played 9 minutes. They don't really have a real solution there. They have a bunch of parts that they're
Steve Kerr
making
clearly
it
does
work.
not trust Kuminga at all.
He does not trust Kuminga. And yeah, I mean, Looney's going to be a free agent next year or after this year. So they'll either have to re-sign him and bring him back or figure out another idea. I think the big thing, as we talked about around the trade deadline, is like, our team's going to view Vooch as a 30-minute a game starter, or is he going to be a 20-minute a game, 25-minute a game bench piece, kind of in the way that Steven Adams has been for the Rockets, where it's like, yeah, at times you can go with 2 bigs, at times you can go with just him out there, at times you want to go small and he's not out there. So I think those are the challenges with it. But again, that's why like a smaller contract would make more sense, because now it makes it easier to slot him in as a backup. And I think that's the thing for Vooch too, is like, is he going to be willing to come off the bench to play on a good team, or is he going to want to still be, a primary option as a starter? Because I think that limits his options. But at the end of the day, he's under contract next year. He doesn't have the luxury of choice when it comes to where does he end up and what is his role. He signed his extension with the Bulls. They gave him all the money, and he's been like a featured piece of the offense, and it's only gotten the Bulls so far. So yeah, I think it's time to move on. Like, it's just, again, that's like the natural order of things. It's just a matter of who has the right placement for him. Because if you're talking about the Warriors bringing him in as a 36-minute a night starter, maybe, yeah, then you could get some like decent pieces, but I don't think that they view him that way. And so if you're the Warriors, why are you giving up a first round pick or multiple second round picks and, a young player to the Bulls for a guy that you're going to bring off your bench? You're not going to do that.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Vooch, and I'm talking over his career, do you feel that he has earned the right to choose how he goes out? And what I mean by that is, has he earned the right to say, I'm going to be the starter? Or has he earned the right to say, okay, I'll come off the bench? Or is it, no, dude, you're going to take this? You know what I'm saying? No matter what, this is what you're going to get.
I think it's similar to DeMar, right? Like last year, there were no teams that had money. DeMar was the odd man out. It was like either go to like the Heat or the Clippers on the mid-level exception, or like, what do you do? And someone made it happen. He found a way to get the deal he wanted to play on a team that was going to give him a role and the money to do so. And I think that's just kind of how it works. Like, there's always like frustration about, the Bulls could have like squeezed him for more money. Like, these guys get the deal that they want to play where they want to play. It may not be the perfect option. DeMar didn't get to go to the Lakers for $35 million, but he got to go to California. He got a real role on a team that had at that time, like, a vision to try to compete at a high level, and he got paid to do it. And I think Vooch is going to find himself in a similar situation if he reaches free agency, which is, there's going to be some like backup options out there where he could take the full mid-level and like really go out there and compete and be like the best backup center in the league and, really give himself a chance to win. Or he could take a little bit more money and go to a team that's not quite as good, but could still compete. And I think those are the choices that you have to make as a player. And that's where like, what do you value? That ultimately becomes the question. And for a guy like Vooch or DeMar, like, they made a lot of money. I could see why winning would be important. But at the end of the day, like, these guys have a 10 to 15, 17-year window to make a shit ton of money. Like, that's it. That's their shot. Like, I don't blame any of these guys for wanting to get paid.
So before we take our last ad break, just real quick to toss it out there, we were speaking of teams that were in the rumor mill, if not a legitimate reporting, might be interested in Vooch, and there was some reporting on their interest, is the Lakers. And then they shocked the world and they traded for Luka like a week before the trade deadline. So in that week leading up to the trade line, it was essentially, all right, well, Vooch to the Lakers out the window. They just got Luka. Do the Lakers perhaps become a team again that is interested in Vooch this offseason or beyond? I don't love the fit as far as Luka and Vooch and what they do. Just real quick before we go to break, Lakers, if you're the Lakers, are you interested in Vooch this summer?
I think you are. You have nothing. So you have to be interested. You have nothing. Jackson Hayes, there's no disrespect to him, but if he's your starting center, you got problems. So yeah, you have to be interested as far as the look at Vooch. As far as the fit, that's other talk. discussions.
But the Lakers never really seemed super concerned with fit.
Yeah,
They're just
it's
like, let's get some names.
very true.
Let's get some
Very
names
true.
up in here.
And Vooch is a name.
Vooch is a name.
He's a name.
Let's knock out our last ads of the day. Then we'll come back and wrap up with a look at Lakers. A couple other more teams we want to get to as potential Vooch partners. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. What are you waiting for?
Smack it.
Today's show brought to you by Circus Sportsbook. The NBA playoffs are here, y'all. I love it. I love it. I'm going to get my bets in right when we wrap up for tonight's NBA playoff action. Whatever the moment, whatever the sport, the app to bet. Circus Sports Illinois. Circus Sports is sports betting the way it should be. Circus Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. Human beings. Big Dave.
Yeah.
You were in our mailbag episode earlier
Okay.
this afternoon referencing the human customer service of
Yeah.
Circa
Yeah.
and the fine people.
It's pretty
who
awesome.
Handle their customer service.
It's pretty
when
awesome.
you were in Vegas
Yeah.
at the what? Circa Resort and Casino?
Casino?
Yeah.
Yeah. When I called, first ring, picked up.
Human being?
Hello, human being. Hi, human being. I need your help. Help is on the way, Big Dave. Boom.
Human customer service is not dead. Hold on to this, humanity.
Hold on.
Circa's holding on, and I respect it. Bet on all of your favorite teams in every game this season. Spreads, props, futures, even in-game betting. Circa Sports has it all. Fun to bet like a pro from anytime, anywhere in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 and older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
So Baby Joey was in Vegas.
Baby Joey.
He was in Vegas. I tried to get up with him, but he was like, he couldn't get into the ice
His
bar.
social calendar in Vegas was too packed? Or?
Yeah. He was like, you know what I mean? Well, you trying to get me to the ice bar. I'm a baby. You know what I mean? I don't want to be around all that cold.
He got carded.
Yeah. No. He gets in.
I was like, I
No.
thought he could get in.
He gets in anyway. It was just too cold. He was
cold.
like, I am a child.
I see. Yeah.
I should not
wanted
be in
the
a place
fur.
like that.
He wanted the fur.
That's right. He wanted the fur.
They don't make them in infant sizes.
Well, they're making a Baby Joey size.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? He got one with a big J on the back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It rolls like that, which is something I just didn't get because I never understood.
Never understood.
Why? Oh, Lord, why? Why it cost so much money to look so dang on cool? I don't understand it. And you know who else don't get it? Shady Rays. So guess what? They're going to do something about it because our friends at Shady Rays are helping you get in the right frame of mind, get it, with their premium polarized shades that will not break the bank. They're an independent sunglasses company that's offering that world-class product that's rated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Sunglasses have durable frames. They got those crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for your outdoor. And as this mustacheless man is going to prove to you, your indoor adventure-owner. Stashless. Boo. But wait, say you're watching the game in the playoffs and something happens. Oh, my God, I can't believe you hit that shot. Oh. And then you realize, drat, splat, cracked. My Shady Rays are going just like that. But then he remembers, guess what? Shady Rays has got that lost and broken replacements plan. So guess what? It's the most insane protection in all of eyewear. So guess what? Right back on your face when you send them in. Boo! Fresh new pair of Shady Rays for you to enjoy the game. Oh, he looks extra cool. Tom Cruise in the house. That's how it rolls. Shady Rays, y'all. That's what they do. They will look out for you, the customer. CHGO viewers and listeners, that's y'all. Go to shadyrays.com and save 35% off those premium polarized sunglasses with that code CHGO. And try it for yourself. The shades are rated 5 stars for over 300,000 people. CHGO is the code. Shadyrays.com is where you go to use it. Because the Shady Rays, y'all, well, the rays are oh so shady.
All right, rolling along. Goat, your 2 cents on Vooch Lakers. Does it make sense anymore?
Just 2.
I don't think so. Not to say he wouldn't be a good fit there. I think the money's a little bit challenging. You have to figure out how to match contracts, and that is not impossible. They've got Hachimura's making 18. They've got Maxi Kleba, who they could attach. The Bulls might have to take back a little bit more money. Maybe they send out another cheaper asset or something like that.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of picks, but here's the thing. They made a trade for Mark Williams. Like, they want a big rim rolling, rim protecting center who can be a lob threat for Luka. The athletic rim rolling, lob catching big gets such a boost playing with Luka Doncic.
Sure. Yep.
I mean, Gafford looked incredible. Lively looked incredible.
Lively.
Jackson Hayes looks great
Vooch
next to him because he sets you up better than, I mean, he's the best lob thrower in the league. So I mean, Vooch, I think he spaces the floor really well, and he could add an element. But again, at $20 million, when you're a team that is so just strapped for cash, it's a hard fit. It's a hard sell, especially when you have to give up assets to do it. So could I see him being like a mid-level exception signing in another year from now? Absolutely. But I find it a little bit hard to believe that a team like the Lakers would go out and trade for a guy like Vooch just because it's not the primary archetype of a center that they would want next to Luka, and you would have to give up assets to do it.
But should they look, though? Should they look at it?
You should always be looking.
Okay. All right.
Always be looking. I just don't think they would actually do it. That's kind of my point.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's touch on another team that Keith Smith threw out there on his pod today. Spurs.
That's an interesting one.
As a potential Vooch partner would allow Wemby to get some minutes at the 4 instead of having to play the 5 all the time. Also, depending on how Wemby's recovery goes, his offseason on a significant injury.
That's true.
If you bring Vooch in, reliable vet center, you can start him every night. You can play him 32 every night. To let Wemby ease back in at the front half of the season. Also, Vooch just strikes me as somebody who could be like Spurs. Like he's
I agree.
Like aging Pau Gasol.
Yeah,
you know, that's a Spurs player in the twilight of his career.
Yeah,
could totally see it working.
The fit is fitting. Like I see it very, very well. And you mentioned a great point, like moving Wemby to the 4, because probably he may be more comfortable there at the 4. Well, his game shows that he's more comfortable there at the 4 than he is the 5, because he should not be shooting under 50% from the field. It's driving me insane. But a guy like Vooch can definitely help in that region, because now you got a guy that will play inside for you. So Wemby doesn't have to kind of be that guy to use the fact that he's 7'5" to be down there all the time. No, Vooch is going to live there. He's going to, you know what I'm saying, raise a family there. You know, and there will be a wonderful family, you know what I mean, with a small farm. But they will be there and down there in that post doing his thing. And Vooch is still a threat to get you 30 points and 15 rebounds on a good day. So having that at your ready, especially with the Spurs, and you know how the Spurs have been, especially with international players and how good they are with that, I think you're absolutely right, Matt. I think it fits with the Spurs. It fits with what they kind of need. And also, if you have combining it with a guy like Chris Paul, who's still going to be there as well, combining him with a really good point guard who knows how to use a guy like Vooch, I think all of it kind of works and clicks. And Will, can you tell me why it wouldn't work? As far as financially, I'm saying financially.
I think that they are a team that it would actually make sense from a cap perspective, just because they don't have a lot of money tied down. I wonder though, like, do you want to send it next to Wemby? Like, I mean, if you're saying he should shoot more than 50%, that means
he should.
If he's playing the 4, he's going to be pushed further away from the basket.
But I'm talking about that's where he feels more comfortable. Just watching his game, it seems like he's just much more comfortable not being inside.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then get a guy that wants to be inside. And
I don't know. I just feel like for me, like Wemby is at his best as a 5, because even though he shoots it a little bit too much, he's so dynamic as a shooter that like you really have to be worried about him. And if you provide another option to for your starting center to guard instead of Wemby, now a 4 can guard Wemby and he's still not going to punish you because there's already a guy in the paint. And now there's more bodies. So to me, like, I think you maximize Wemby's value as a 5 with shooting around him. We saw them play Sohan next to Wemby, and like centers, opposing teams would just guard him with their center and he couldn't make them pay from 3. And now there's just extra bodies in the paint. They don't want that. So to me, I think you probably need a center who can be like Vooch in order to like help everything work when Wemby's not on the court.
Yeah.
And I think he would make Wemby better. I just think like long-term Wemby's got to be a 5, and their priority should be adding like really athletic, good, you know, high-level shooting wings around him to make that work best. But Vooch is not like a long-term option. So I do think it makes some sense. I don't think it's like the perfect basketball fit.
I think you said the perfect thing though right there. It makes Wemby better. Yeah. And that's what it should be all about, is making him better. So yeah, you want to put the right guys around him, but I want him to be maximized. And as far as, you know, just being the best player that he possibly can. So if that's the way you're going to sell it and pitch it to me, that he can make this guy better, I absolutely will be looking at this.
Yep.
All right, guys. What about the Kongs?
Kong.
You know, people have been bringing up a Bulls Sabonis trade for weeks now, months now.
Yeah.
The Kings also, like the Bulls, get bounced out of the play-in tournament. Fun. That's what the best teams in the league do. They also love making trades with each other. So, look, could Vooch be involved in some sort of big trade package deal that sends Sabonis to Chicago, Vooch over to Sacramento? Because if the Kings learned one thing this season, it's that pairing Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan could bear some serious fruits. They're not NBA playoff victory kinds of fruits, just other fruits. So why not add Vooch to that? I mean, the logic is staring us all in the face.
Oh man, I mean, that would be wild. I think for the Kings to go back to that well.
That's why would the Kings do that?
Yeah, like why would they go back to that well?
Vooch and Lonzo for Sabonis.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm going to
man.
ask you a question, and I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
If the Kings do that, is it a dumber move than trading Luka? Hear me out.
Okay.
Because we know that it's wrong. Luka, there is a possibility in some crazy, messed up world where the Mavericks win a championship in 3 years and we're all like, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Healthy Kyrie,
But-
healthy AD. That's a
But the Kings know this didn't work.
well, they maybe they weren't paying very close attention. Maybe they're the only ones who are in the dark.
It was
Well,
working
maybe
before
it
Lonzo
just
went
might
down.
work for us.
Yeah, and as Go just pointed out, it was working before Lonzo went down against bum teams.
I'm not going to put anything past
Slay.
Vivek Ranadive.
Uh,
Obviously, Monty McNair out.
out of
I don't
there.
know what that means for decision making, but
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine a world where they actually do that. But it's so crazy, it probably will happen.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so crazy that they got Zach to pair with DeMar again. That's a thing that was crazy to do because there was evidence that it didn't yield great results, and they did that in real life. That's a thing that happened.
It feels like it feels like they did that too to answer their own kind of questions. Because remember, they were the ones who wanted Zach years ago when they signed him to that offer sheet.
Yeah.
So I think they kind of did that to like, we always wanted to do this, guys. Let's go ahead and do it. It's not going to cost us a lot. Oh, it'll cost the GM his job? Oh, sorry.
And
my bad.
And look, like
They had Halliburton
remember
and
that
Fox,
this
and
is
now
a
they haven't
team
either.
that like
crazy.
Sabonis is here now, and they're maybe looking to move him. He's got a big contract. He's due a bunch of money over the next 3 seasons, maybe 4, 3 at least. They had Tyrese Halliburton,
They did.
and we're like, "Nah, we need to make this move. Give us Sabonis from the Pacers." And look, Dave, you mentioned it earlier today. Halliburton was the number 1 name on that player poll Athletic just put out about most overrated players in the NBA right now.
Which is wild to me.
But he's also an all-star player who has the Pacers up 2-0 on the Bucks in the first round right now.
He's cooking.
Player who was integral in leading the Pacers on a deep playoff run last year.
Eastern Conference Final.
What did Sabonis do that for the Kings?
I'm going to say no.
Has DeMar or Zach ever done that for the Bulls or the Kings?
I'm going to say no.
No. The
Could be
Kings
wrong.
are wild, truly wild for their decision making.
Kong's going to Kong, baby. That's how they doing.
At least we're not the Kings.
Did it. Number 7.
It is bananas. One other team that people have thrown out just because
Okay.
roots, the old back to Orlando trade.
Oh, okay.
Eh? Eh? Get back Wendell Carter Jr.
Hey, bring him home. Oh, his game would go so down if he had to come back here. Like mentally, I don't think he wants to be back in Chicago at
There's no
all.
chance.
You know what I mean? No, there isn't. Just saying it. Like
I mean, there's a chance
No.
Vooch gets traded back to Orlando because I think he would be a good fit there, and they could really use him.
Yeah, I think that
And-
part makes sense. A floor spacer?
And he's like a huge piece of that team's history. Like he is one of the
Yes.
better players. Obviously, they have like an embarrassment of riches at the center spot historically, but
historically, yes,
Vooch was a great player for them.
he was.
They love him. He still has a home there. Like I think that makes sense. And I think he adds value to them. A team that can't score, that can't shoot, like that kind of a center, I think would really benefit them. But I don't think Wendell would be coming back in that.
Dude,
in
I
that
mean,
trade.
Vooch was down there last year in the first round of their playoffs. I think he'll be there again when they're at home again this year. So obviously Orlando means something to him. Like you said, his jersey will probably be retired. Like he has that kind of legacy down there. But yeah, I don't think it'll happen or anything like that. Probably when he's like, this is my last year or something like that. Maybe he'll get back to, Orlando that kind of way. But I don't see that trade kind of happening here.
regarding the Vooch for Wendell swap. Colin in the comments said, "No, we have our rec spec wearing undersized center already. I want to keep Jalen Smith for years." That is true. We do have our specs wearing big man.
That's true.
Jalen Smith.
That's true.
Although Wendell stopped wearing them again. Did you see that?
I did see that. I did.
It was like, oh, we figured out maybe part of the problem.
Yeah.
Because he kept missing 5-footers around the rim.
Correct.
That he was blind.
Yes.
Then he started wearing rec specs.
Yes.
And it was like, oh, he got a little bit better. And then he stopped wearing them again.
And then he said, nope,
Why?
I don't like them. They don't look cool on my face. I'm taking them off. And then he went back to Wendell Carter Jr. Wear the glasses, kids.
Yeah, Andrew,
all right.
Andrew, how dare you?
He was awesome in their playing game. I don't know if
Yeah,
you guys watched
he
that.
was. He was.
He was great.
He played well.
No.
But he's 9 points and 7 rebounds.
Boost for Jonathan Isaac. No. My head is no. Keep that weirdo away from my team.
I mean, look, like you take the glasses off. You went from 15 points a game to 11 points and then down to 9 points. Put your glasses on, son.
Put your glasses
Put
on.
your glasses on, man.
Can't read the chalkboard. Katie, before we get out of here, do you want to
Poll
address the poll?
results.
What?
I just yelled poll results at you.
Yeah,
What the
yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
I
you.
want a sound drop. I want a sound drop for poll results. I just don't know what I want yet. I'm gonna
I
figure
think
it
it
out.
should
I
be
think you just
what
did
you
it.
just said
You
just now.
just did it right now.
And staple on the back of it. Hey, you guys!
I'll figure it out.
Results.
Maybe I'll get Will Purdue to record poll results for me or something.
Victoire de Paul!
Anyway,
Had
today's
to record that.
today's stupid unrelated poll was which makes you the grumpiest? Because I've now yelled at Will to go Gottlieb 2 days in a row because I've been hungry.
Two of them bangs.
You know what that means? It just means she missed me. Because she was just taking that out on you, dog.
Yeah.
That's all. Because you know I can take, like, she was just taking that on you. I'm sorry, Will. I'm sorry.
The
I'll
poll
survive.
winner with 32% was too much noise,
Boom! That's what I voted for.
which is a good
Because I'm
one.
old and cranky and noise sucks.
What was on the poll?
The number 2 was being tired, 29% of the
I'm
vote.
tired all the
That was
time.
very close. Number 3 being hungry, and then number 4, the Dave option. I'm never grumpy.
Confirm it or not, you're never grumpy.
Just me, man.
That's a confirm.
What would you
Just
vote
me.
for in that poll? What bugs you the most?
Oh,
Too tired? It's too noisy here. What was the other one?
Hungry.
Too hungry?
well, hungry wouldn't bother me.
Because then you just eat something.
Yeah.
Instant fix.
You know, too grumpy. I'm not that.
You're just naming
Loud,
dwarves.
maybe loud noise, I guess, will wake me up or something. Of course, yeah.
Noise is the
would
worst.
But
kinda
then,
do that.
are you upset because of the noise or because you're tired? Who woke you up?
Ooh.
Ooh.
How about that?
I want to change my vote. Thomas in the comments. Playing games make me grumpy. Yes, Thomas. They make me. I would go beyond grumpy. I would say they make me irate.
That's very fair.
Especially when
What
they
will make the goat
result
grumpy?
in the same result 3 years in a row.
What will make you grumpy, Goat?
I selected noise.
That noise? It's the noise? Okay.
Last year on my street, they like tore up the entire street, had to do all the like piping.
Yeah.
And it was just like every
Construction
morning
noise.
at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
in the summer when we're off and I can sleep in.
Yeah.
And it's just like
camera
jackhammers.
right
The
outside your
whole house
window.
is shaking. And
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
grumpy all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It wouldn't
Yeah.
make me grumpy. I would be agitated.
Yeah. I would select noises for you.
Noise,
Because
yeah.
I've seen you hungry and I've seen you tired and you're not grumpy. You either just find a place
Yeah.
to sleep when you're
He either
tired
just
or you
eats
find some
something
food.
Yeah.
or sleeps.
Yeah.
I don't know if noises would actually make you angry, but the other two just can't possibly happen.
Yeah. It would be, I'd be aggravated.
I just remember when we were in Paris and we were going to the airport. Oh man. And you had been out like the entire night at some jazz club or something like that,
among other places.
among other places. And we got in the car to the airport
Uh-huh.
and you just like took a nap. You're just like, I'm taking a quick 10-minute snooze.
Yeah.
And that's how I think of your ability to handle being tired. You
It's
just
true. And
you
then,
find a little place to take a quick nap.
then woke up and went to the bar with Matt.
Yeah.
and Had a couple more drinks. And yeah,
You gotta
got on
knock
a
back
flight.
a couple airport
on a
bevies
flight.
before you get on a flight that long.
it's the rule.
Yeah.
It's kind of the rule.
Shout out to Casey who said, "What's up, fellas? Wish I could call in to tell y'all how I'm
Drop
feeling." Well, that's what the comment section is for.
Yeah, man. Drop it right there below in the comments how you feeling.
Or drop us a voice recorder. Can you put a voice record feature into the YouTube comments, Katie? Does that
Katie?
work?
Not that I know of.
Maybe on Discord.
Maybe we'll
Discord
do,
for sure.
Yeah, maybe we'll
Become
do
Become
a
a
show.
diehard, and you
Yeah.
can do it on Discord.
Maybe we'll do a show where people can send us voice recordings or even,
I
like a
love
little
that.
selfie video.
Big Dave and I used to do voicemail mailbags
yeah, that
for
was
Locked
fun.
On all the time.
Yeah, that was always a good time.
Good times.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to hear the voice of Bulls Nation.
People.
The people. All right, we will get out of here for the day. Tomorrow, again, CHGO Bears draft party. Get yourself a ticket. Hang out. It's going to be a fun time. Night 1, and then another party on night 2, April 24th and 25th, down
night
115 Bourbon Street. And because of all the chaos of the NFL draft going on in our double night event, we pre-taped a mailbag episode for y'all that is going to drop tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central Time, our normal time. Some fun questions in there that we asked, or were asked by y'all that we did our best to answer. And then another episode coming on Friday. In the meantime, go to allchgo.com is where you can read his stuff. Become a diehard so you can read all of it. Will _Gottlieb. Big Dave. Back. Bam. BAWL Sports. I'm Bulls _Peck. We are CHGO Bulls. The queen of the controls. The queen of the polls.
Mm-hmm.
No. Stop. Take that.
The
No.
YouTube
Stop.
chat
It fits so
Stop.
perfectly.
voting
Stop.
polls.
Polls
Yes.
and controls.
POLL.
No. Matt didn't say that. It didn't happen.
Can't do that. Me.
We gotta go. Bye.
Much love. See you next week.
We all silly like the mayor.